Hey child, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Tuli Mashazi, the lady of the channel. And thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. And I thank God for the new downloads that are coming up. Thank you so much. The family is growing in numbers steadily. The subscriptions are good. The comments, the likes on each post. I really, really appreciate you. The aim is to grow the soul. Let's grow together. So this post that I'm making today was a personal request from someone who has been liking and commenting and sharing almost all my posts of late. He's such a follower of my work, and thank you. I appreciate you, Q. His name is Q, yeah. So he says to me, Tilly, if you go back to some of my posts, you'll see the post where he says, can you make another one? It seems the hater topic is quite hot. So he says to me, make another post on how to not be a hater. Because sometimes we're busy looking for haters from outside, but we have become haters ourselves. So we are hating on people, but we don't see that we're hating on people. We only see when people hate on us. So perhaps we should open our own eyes and see the speck, the log. Apparently there's a log in your eye, but you're trying to help somebody else take out the speck in their eye. So this is me here today talking to us about how to not be a hater, to avoid reaching a point in your life where you start hating on people. What should you do? Ways you can safeguard yourself from finding yourself one day hating on people for different reasons. So number one, treat yourself as your biggest investment ever, and make sure your investments give you good returns. That way, you will not be jealous and bitter when other people are growing in their own investments. So you are the biggest project God ever gave you. And if you neglect yourself, you will one day get bitter and sour and hate on other people who have been working on themselves. Usually it's those guys who are scoffers and critics who sit and look at other people and say, oh, she didn't do this, she didn't do that. You know those gossip posts, that we make, oh, so-and-so is pregnant, oh, we hear so-and-so is divorcing, and you're so busy watching other people live out their lives, and they stumble, they fall, they rise, and you're sitting and watching, and you wake up one day, you are so bitter and so hurt because you have been in the same place for years. And the people you were criticizing were building themselves on your criticism. So make yourself a good investment. And it is the good investments that are watched that grow. Watched investments grow. So if you watch your investment and tend to it, it will grow. Even as a person, your brand will grow and increase if you are watching it and you're developing it. Because remember, there's always room for improvement. So I don't understand somebody who sits back and does nothing on themselves, and they think that they have arrived, and so they can now become the coach and the spectator, and they're just telling other people, blowing the whistle on other people, stop this, turn that way, oh, you're dressing wrong, you're talking too much. There's some people who are like that. All they ever do is blow the whistle and say they're the coach, the referee. They're out there thinking they can manage other people's lives. Make your own life your biggest investment. Be very interested in your own life. That way, you will not grow one day and discover yourself that you're a hater. Number two, realize and acknowledge that people are gifted differently, and make peace with the gift you have, and then cultivate it to the best of your ability. Your prosperity in life is deeply connected to your gift. There's some people who don't even know their own gifts, or they know their gifts, but they think their gifts are smaller and less important. So we spend time watching Connie Ferguson, for example, growing her company into a multi-million-dollar brand. And all we think of is commenting on how she's skipping badly. Oh, the skipping has gone less. Now she can only skip 1,000. Come on now. Realize and acknowledge that you also have your own gift and cultivate it to the best of your ability, because it is somehow connected to your prosperity. They say that if you want to just get by, get a job. But if you want to expand and be rich and be great, step into your gift. Because when you are stepping into your gift, no one can decide how much money you're going to make out of it. It will all depend on your hard work. So when you cultivate it, even if it looks like a small thing, I mean, I've seen people who prosper on making dolls dance. That one is you know, when we talk about gifts, we want to talk about singing, dancing, public speaking. We feel like those are the gifts, but somebody else is making dolls dance, and they are being invited all over to make dolls dance. All they do is pull strings. That's a guy who discovered his gift, even though it looked small and very easy to despise, worked on it, developed it, and now they make their dolls dance to latest songs. They dance the latest dances, and everyone likes that because it's current. So acknowledge your gift and then work on it. Don't ever minimize it and think that other people's gifts are greater than yours. In that way, you will be so busy enjoying your gift, you won't have time to hate on anyone. And number 3, walk in forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is a big word. Even the spelling is shorter than the size and the magnitude of the word. So much of the world right now is walking under the weight of unforgiveness. Do not allow yourself to harbor anger and pain in your heart. Because anger and pain undealt with will eventually turn into bitterness and hate. Bitterness and hate left undealt with will eventually lead to self-sabotage. So you look at yourself one day and you're in this cycle of failure where you build and you go far and the lights around you shine bright, and you do something that just brings all the lights out, and you are back where you started. You're in this cycle of failure. If you look back, it comes from somewhere where you didn't forgive, and now you are on this journey of self-sabotage. You are destroying your own brand, but you're not aware. And the more you sabotage yourself, the more you get bitter. The more you get bitter, the more you start hating on people. So walk in forgiveness. Clean your spirit out. Your gift functions best when your spirit is clean, when your mind is clear, when your heart is not burdened. So walk in forgiveness. It's a beautiful detox method for your well-being, mental, emotional, physical well-being. You just walk in forgiveness, you'll see how even so much more beautiful you become. It's a therapy on its own. Forgiving is a powerful thing. You can do it and grow, and you will not walk in bitterness and start hating on people who have gifts. Number 4, refuse to be dragged into other people's feuds. There's some people who are invited to a hate party and they gladly join in. They hate someone, but they have never known why they hate them, because they were told by other people that this person did this and that to the other person, and so they joined the hate party. Refuse to be dragged into other people's feuds. Take some time to think about the people you hate. What big thing did they do to you that you cannot forgive them and move on? Those people you hate. Some of the people you hate, think about it seriously. Some of the people you hate because of something you heard they did to somebody else, or something you saw them do to somebody else. They never did it to you, and you have been so angry. You are even angrier than the one who was offended directly. I know people who use their hate to hate on other people, to fight other people's wars. Use your hate wisely. There are things that you should hate, and they are justified to hate. Like, let me give you examples of things to hate. I hate sin. I hate pain. I hate unforgiveness. I hate poverty. That is good direction. Direct your hate towards those things and you will be justified. But you cannot hate on people so much that you stagnate and you can't move on. And especially if it was never your offense, you were never offended by that person. You are just joining in on a party that you were invited to and you have gladly obliged. Take a good look at the people you hate, the long list of people you hate, and start subtracting reduce. There's some people who need to be out of that list because they never did anything to you. Let them go. There's no need to have this big maximum prison that you have turned your heart into because of other people's feuds. Clean yourself out. And then number 5, realize that hating is anti-progress. You know, hate is it's a compelling feeling. It grips on your heart and you can feel that there's some strong chain that ties around your heart. And unfortunately, it's so compelling and so addictive that you can actually stay in it without realizing that your life has stagnated. The person you hate becomes your obsession and you find yourself thinking about them all the time. You discover how creative you are at devising means to cause their downfall. You know, there's some who are always inviting others. Come, let me tell you. That's you coming up with ways to devise their downfall. Others even set traps. You sit long hours just thinking how you can cause that person to fall into a trap. In companies, there's what we call corporate sabotage. That is hating that wears a tie and a suit. Hate when professionally dressed and with a degree, but you're a hater. So you sabotage your manager, you sabotage your supervisor, you sabotage a fellow employee. You are so anti-progress. You're compelled, you're addicted to hate. You know, it becomes the only thing, that hate, it becomes the only thing that comes out of your mouth when you open it. You wake up every morning, you talk about that person, you talk about that thing that you hate the whole time. But before you know it, those people that you are busy talking about have long left that place. They are somewhere else and you have not progressed. So hate is anti-progress. When you realize that, you will stay away from hating. Just stay away from hating because there are no fruits there. There are no fruits in it. And then number 6, this is quite intense, quite intense, and I hope we are learning from it. And I'd love to hear your comments on this. Number 6, realize that you have only one life. YOLO. Realize you have only one life, and it is a waste of time to spend it on hate. Ask yourself what you would leave behind if you died in this hateful state, and begin to move in a more positive direction. Some of us, all we will leave, the way we are so full of pain. You know, I'm even feeling a lump in my chest just talking about how people can end up living this life of being a hater. Like, you're a professional hater. You are always looking for negative things to say. Even your mind is filled and flooded, overflowing with negative thoughts. It's not necessary. You have only one life. Live that life deeply, meaningfully, and constructively, so that the day you depart, you walk away happy. And when they say rest in peace, you literally, practically, and metaphorically rest because you have worked, you have labored productively. Sometimes I believe that ghosts and witches are people who didn't get rest in this life, so they can't rest even in their death. They still have to roam around certain corners, torturing more victims. Just let go. Let go. You have only one life. Live it meaningfully. When you are gone, leave us with beautiful memories so that we smile when we think about you. We don't find ourselves privately celebrating. You know, I heard a certain lady who used to live in an abusive marriage, and then her husband died. And this has been many years since the man died. And she says, I am happy he is gone. That man put me through a lot. That's a painful thing. Imagine your spouse, somebody you lived with and loved and made love to, and you are gone and they can't even mourn your death. They are happy you left. That is not a good way to live. That's not a good way to live. Live your life positively, productively. Make an impact on people in a positive way. And then number 7, it is not good for your overall health. When you realize that hating is not good for your overall health, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you were never designed to carry baggage. So throw off all the hate you have carried, and you'll see how beautiful and lovable you'll become. You are so much more beautiful than you are. It's just that there's so much hate that it even changes your complexion. I'm just being silly. But yeah, I mean, come on now. Hating is not good for your health overall. I mean, there are some diseases medically. There are some diseases that we hear they come from, they are called stress related. And you know that stress has a level of hate to it, right? So there's some diseases that you are just bringing on yourself just by living in hate. It's not good for your health. Just let it go. So there are some people we hate because we think they are greater than we are. If you worked on on your gift, you might turn out to be greater than those people. So work on your gift. Let go of the hate. It's not good for your health. And then number 8, I'm about to finish. Oh, that list is long. Number 8, if you realize that you have been a hater, ask God for forgiveness and healing. It may not be easy to approach the person you have been hating on, but you can begin to think and act differently towards them. And eventually, the tight knot you used to feel when you think about them will loosen its grip on you. So if you ask God to help you to walk in forgiveness, ask God to heal your heart. Because I heard that hurt people hurt people. Bleeding people make people bleed. So if you are hurt, it is possible that you are being a hater because that is all that life gave you. Now, if you realize that you are hating because of the environment that taught you to hate, go to God and ask Him. Ask Him for forgiveness and healing so that this hate that has built up inside you can leave and you can be free and you can feel light. You have never known real bliss and pleasure until you have let go of hateful feelings in your heart. Then number 9, one successful way to get over hating is to compliment a person for the positive things they do, deliberately ignoring the negatives. But you need to try not to be pretentious while doing it. So pray for people, speak blessings over them. That also helps you loosen the grip of hate from your heart. It takes a high level of selflessness to pray for someone and speak blessings over them. And the moment you reach that place where you can open your mouth, defying what you feel inside you, I have spoken to people who hate their own fathers because they were absent in their lives. And I say, when was the last time you phoned your father? And I can tell that I have provoked something, and I can feel the tension rising inside them, and they say, I don't have to. I don't want to talk to him. And I say, pray for him. I don't want to pray for him. I used to feel that way when I was hating over my husband who used to be abusive. And somebody said to me, pray for your husband. Perhaps they were suggesting that I forgive my husband. And I remember feeling very angry. I was like, you know what? I'm not praying for that guy. I'm not doing it. But the more I started praying for him, the more I felt free in my heart. I was light and happier. So happy that I could sit with him in the same room and not feel angry or tense or, awkward. I wouldn't feel any negative energy flowing in me. I could sit comfortably and we could have a mini discussion about the kids and what they need and their progress. I was happy to get to that point because there was a time when anything that reminded me of him was a raw nerve. It touched my nerves in a wrong way, and I'd really just lose it. So perhaps we should also start praying for people as a way of releasing the hate. Speak beautiful things over them. If you're not the praying person, compliment them. Just say, I like your hair, nice shoes. The way compliments have a way of changing us on the inside. The more you see the good in them, the more you realize that they don't deserve hate. No one in this world deserves to be hated. We were all created for love. We love to be loved, and we thrive when we are loved. So be positive, spread the love. And then number 10, realize that when you're a hater, you are a tool in the hands of the enemy. We don't want that now, do we? I don't think anyone here wants to be the devil's tool, the devil's battle axe. So that whenever the devil is looking for somebody that he can attack, he comes and he uses you. That can't be your choice. That can't be your life. So let go of the hate. And then number 10, avoid sitting. Number 11, avoid sitting with gossips and rumor mongers. They will fill your spirit with poison. Stay far away from them. Some of us are hating because we grew up among scoffers. In all our living days, we heard them pick character after character to destroy them and annihilate them and break them to pieces with their hate. And so we didn't notice that it was wrong until it was so much a part of our lives. And so we are just leaving it up and carrying on what we were taught. So just let go. Don't sit among those people who enjoy having lunch over people. That's not a good practice. It's what busybodies do, and busybodies never accomplish much. So stay away from those people. And then number 12, which is the last point, thankfully, and thank you for sticking around. Number 12, love yourself enough not to poison yourself with the venom of hate. Love yourself enough to not want any negative spirit to find home in you. Love yourself enough to not allow any negative influences that invite you to hate parties. Love yourself enough to forgive, because you are not a grave, you are not a jail, you are not a coffin, you are not a prison that must hold and detain negative things in you. Just live clean, love yourself enough, and be free. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you. I really appreciate you. I'd love to hear your comments on these. I really appreciate you. I love you. Mwah.